All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time once again. The crypto gaming god, the genius himself, bringing the alpha, kidnapping people to get you that crypto gaming alpha. We're here once again, and let's be honest, the hype of the town, everybody is talking about it. The Ronin network, why is everybody playing in this ecosystem? Why the heck is this interesting all of a sudden? Everybody and their mother talking about the Ronin network. We're going to be joining ourselves and turning into one human being here, because I've got Finn, the legend himself, socials for SkyMavis. And I'll be honest here, you know, we've had our opinions on SkyMavis before, but I made a tweet. Very specifically. I don't have it here. You're just going to have to believe me on this. I said, when Finn joined, bullish. Very bullish indicator. You made that little tweet, yeah, and I was like, you know what? I'm just like, hey, maybe I need to cover this thing now. Finn's a big bullish indicator. Not in regards to token price, but just in regards to how they manage their social medias. Let me tell you, when I first saw how Axie Infinity was managing everything back in like 2021, I was like, we're all scatterbrained, we're all over the place. And it wasn't only Axie Infinity, it was literally everyone. We all didn't know what we were doing. But then bear market happened. We had a lot of time to think about what we're doing. And that's kind of when you joined SkyMavis during the bear cycle. Tell me, how was it like being a part of SkyMavis during the bear cycle? And what did you like notice they were doing wrong that you immediately just went, okay, we need to fix this now?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, like, look, I've joined a few teams like during the bear cycle, right? And like, usually an indicator for me is like, okay, pitch me on what you want to do. And if I think you're lying to me, like that you want to do all these things, like I'm not interested. But like when Jiho came to me and like pitched me on like the Axie, Ronin, SkyMavis plans, right? Like, it was feasible, right? It was like, I looked at it, I was like, yeah, that can happen, right? Like this is a reasonable like expectation that like, you know, the angle you're taking is good. So, yeah, I joined kind of towards I would say the end of the deep bear market. And
yeah, I could agree with that.
I think like that was like, that's how I look at it.
Capitulation.
Right.
You know, the BitBoy going to the Bahamas.
Exactly. Like, right. You know, things, everyone's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Things are going crazy.
That was great.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, you know, I wouldn't say it was like an Axie exclusive problem or a SkyMavis exclusive problem, but I think a lot of teams in Web3 struggle with not having people in charge of socials who have communications experience and not just like degenerate shitposting experience. And I'm kind of in a weird place where like I have, you know, my shitposting experience. But I've also
the shitposting experience. Hell yeah, dude.
But I've also been managing socials for companies of 20 million followers for 6 years now. So I understand how to properly communicate and like how to structure things a little bit differently than I think a lot of people within the space necessarily knew how. So I'm super bullish on the fact that they took the risk of hiring an outsider, someone who is not native to the community. But you know, very bullish on the fact that it was a strategic move, and I mean, I think I think it was the right move.
You think it was the right move?
I think so.
All right, yeah, I'll agree with you there. I'll be honest. Before the Finn era, I didn't even take a look at Axie Infinity or SkyMavis. The second Finn joined, I was like, you know what? There's a new horizon bound, and there will be potential. In regards to actually having cool social media posts. So I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going around. You've been extremely active on socials for the longest of time. And I'm sure you've kind of realized the evolution of how crypto Twitter has gone from, you know, the bear cycle into the bull cycle, and how all these different companies are managing their social media profiles. I'm sure you have all the data metrics and all the interesting stuff.
I do.
You do, yeah. You have all the interesting stuff. So what would you say is like, okay, maybe I'm a person that just got into crypto Twitter, and I'm wondering how the hell all these crypto gaming companies run their socials in regards to events and announcements and all these different things. How would I, as a newbie, as a little normie, right? Let me just call myself a normie, consider myself a person that is educated and is constantly up to date? How can I do this? Do I go on the Discord? Do I go on the Twitter? Do I beg Finn for the alpha? Like, what is the move here?
Yeah, no, really good question. It's actually something we think about and try to address quite often, is like, in Web3, things move really quick and a lot of things happen. And so how do we consolidate information in places? And the way we've kind of realized that this works is that if you prioritize simplifying information in a single area for users, it's beneficial. So what I mean by that is if someone is a Discord dog, right? Like they're a Discord fan, they're big on Discord. It's really good to make sure that they have a consolidated place. Discord dog. They have a really good consolidated place to view announcements, right? So it's like making sure that the announcement channels are clear. There's a reoccurring format. We don't put unnecessary fluff in there, etc. When it comes to Twitter, which is kind of a wild beast when it comes to what we do, what we found is that creating weekly recaps, consolidations of information has been really strategic. So we have that. We have weekly recaps that go out from the SkyMavis account that cover everything in Axie and Ronin, links to everything. So if people miss parts of the cycle or miss parts of an announcement or whatever, it's there. Then we have blogs set up. So we have Substacks and blogs, which are for those who prefer a more traditional reading format. And we do all of our updates and recaps in an easy to follow format. And then, because that's not enough, we have in-app notifications and news feeds, as well as in-game for both Classic and Origins for the games. So those also provide flow of information. So
yeah, it's never enough.
It's never enough.
It's never enough.
But we try and attack people at every single angle possible, because I agree. Like, it's so hard to like keep track of everything. And like, you know, when I first got in the space, it was like, how do you know who's good to talk to and who's not, and who's the right people to engage with? And so, you know, we found that just sort of creating consolidated flows of information, making it available everywhere, that does the best.
It does the best, doesn't it? I remember back in 2021 with Axie Infinity, pretty much the only place you can get information from was Discord back in the day. And then every week they had this weekly Axie newsletter where they would go over, you know, the DAU increases and that kind of cool stuff. I really like the new model where it's kind of like a little bit more consistent. There is more brand recognition in terms of the color. And overall, it just feels like I'm getting more information here. Threads make a lot of sense in this world. And so this is just killer. And tell me, did you write this post?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, why did you write this post?
You know, we like to think of Ronin as ETH's answer to Solana.
Right.
And, you know, some incidents happened last night. They weren't able to keep the chain up and running, which was a bummer, considering...
Are my meme coins doomed?
Meme coins are doomed. Yeah, you know, I have to say, it's one of those interesting things where, like, you know, you go to Token Terminal, you look at daily active wallets, you look at transactions, you look at volume, and you start to ask yourself, why did Solana shut down? If it's at lower users than Ronin. I don't know.
All I gotta say is Ethereum hasn't shut down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things, right? Like, we're here for gamers, and there's no light switch that turns Ronin off. Yeah,
and tell me, so you talk a lot about Ethereum, and this is an interesting conversation because I feel like this is a new narrative. I recently onboarded onto the little CyberCon Genkais or whatever they are.
Yeah.
And a big thing in their holders chat when they said, why was the floor price increasing or why were more people being interested all of a sudden? Narrative. They were talking about narratives. And they were talking about the fact that, you know, they were the only PFP on Ronin, but they didn't really announce that they wanted to be the greatest, the largest crypto gaming PFP on Ronin. And my thought was immediately, like, Ronin's narrative has always been that whole cult mentality-ish thing. We all love cabals, right? Yep. Where it's like, we are the ultimate crypto gaming chain. I don't care if our market cap isn't the highest. We are still the ultimate crypto gaming chain. And everybody just kind of buys into the vision. And I feel like that might help create a little bit more of a community of maxis that just absolutely hammer it in. I feel like that's kind of what Ronin's been doing this entire time with Ronin, but now they're kind of expanding. They're like, screw the Ronin narrative. We're going to Ethereum. We're just like, you know what, Ethereum, you don't get enough transactions. We're gonna just outbid you in this regard and become the ultimate Ethereum EVM god.
Yeah, I mean, like, the way we look at it is, like, it's good to have competition, but it's also important to understand that, like, the world of chain warfare is complex, and sometimes it's not war, sometimes it's strategy, but sometimes it does fall into, like, the realm of, like, chain warfare, right? Ultimately, we're all fighting for block space, we're fighting for market share, and we're fighting for potential, you know, competition in the market. And you know, I think it's really good to see that, you know, as people sort of created this narrative around what it means to, what it means to have Solana. We're, getting all of these users, this acquisition, all this kind of volume, and people going like, well, ETH is dead. And it's like, well, ETH is not dead, actually. If we look at the numbers, like ETH accounts, and L2s and EVM chains account for significantly more volume and transactions than Solana. It's just that when you compare mainnet ETH, which we know is not designed to be a transactional chain, it's not meant to be where everyone lives. And so, if you look at like what's in here, it's like AVAX is in there, and Ronin's in here, and Polygon, like these are all EVMs, L2s, like they are what kind of account for, the kind of like growth of Ethereum. But in that same light, it's also important to acknowledge that like there will be a competitor that Solana faces, and like, especially at Ronin, like we like to think of ourselves and would like to position ourselves as the competitor and as the alternative. You want the simplistic chain experience. You want, fast transactions, low fees, user face interfaces that are beautifully done, products that you can use right now. That's where we're kind of looking to position ourselves.
Is that what makes it special? We're on Ethereum, we're not crashing, and we've got all the benefits of layer 2s.
Yeah,
is that it?
Like that's it, right? Like we don't. I mean, I think people overcomplicate it. I think people should start to sort of look at the competition and go, okay, you are promising that eventually you'll do this. You have said you might do this, and you have been trying to do this for a year. And then look at Ronin.
That does that.
But then you look at Ronin, and it's like, one of the things that got me really bullish early on was like, okay, rather than saying we are going to do this, they just do it.
Yeah, they do it and just break things along the way, just like Ethereum, right?
It's
just like Ethereum.
Like the beauty of Ronin, like we were looking back at like the yearly recap, and it was something like 60 product updates got shipped on Ronin chain alone, not including partner migrations, activations, etc. That was 60 product releases, which is multiple releases a month. And those were, as small as UI interface updates, as large as bridge infrastructure, as, up to like, asset migration, etc. New platforms, launch pads, like, across the board, I think Ronin took a really massive step last year. And I think we just want people to to acknowledge it a little bit and understand that, like, we're a serious competitor and we're not going anywhere. So
you should just acknowledge our existence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you can't fight it. Ronin is inevitable,
Ronin is the Roners. They just keep growing. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, I do have to remind people that if your Roner lasts for more than 4 hours, to please see a doctor.
Please see a doctor. Hey, dude, some Roners go flaccid after sometimes. So it's all good. Everybody has their days.
Everyone has their days, yeah.
100%. All right, so let's put you on the spot here. There's a lot of different crypto games on Ronin.
Amazing.
And personally,
oh boy,
if I was a social media manager, I would say that I like all of the games on Ronin. But you can't do that on the stream. You have to tell me. No, you can't. You have to tell me one game that you like over the rest of them. And you have to show it. Like, you have to tell people, I love this game. This is X, Y, and Z. Why I think this game is going to be successful.
Okay, I get made fun of internally for this because I love the game more than anyone else. I am super, super bullish on Wild Forest. Really love Wild Forest. I think Wild Forest is a really, really cool game. I think as a North American player, it's a game that ticks all the right boxes for me. And it's one of the few games I've played a ton. Rank number 2 is Axie Origins. I am a very, very active daily player of Axie Origins. Quite enjoy it. Yeah, here's Wild Forest. It's super cool. It's a little mobile RTS strategy game with customizable, upgradable units.
What is this?
Yeah, so like if you click on I don't know, or scroll down, maybe there's like a video of some gameplay.
Eventually we'll find one.
Yeah, but
there's a Ronin wallet update. Wild Forest.
So one of the most recent updates allowed for the in-game units to be shown on your wallet, which is super cool. So you can actually see all of them. I hope,
right? That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they look beautiful. The art's not that bad for mobile,
right? And like the actual playstyle, it's really simple, right? Like it's a zone territory control RTS mobile game. I find myself, there you go. Here's a little quick video.
Yeah, there you go. We got Mook here.
Yeah, we can see some gameplay footage. So it's relatively simple. You know, there's a battle pass. You direct units around the map, take territory control. I think it's awesome. I think it's really simple and fun to play, and that's my bull case for it. Is that it's
a fun game.
It's a fun game and it's easy to pick up. Everyone I've introduced to it has really enjoyed it.
Do we know anything about the NFTs and what they're used for? Is it just like gameplay, like card games?
They should be announcing more of the details soon. They've started to kind of talk about it on socials, but they'll be kind of putting out the final details soon. They're still kind of like in an alpha phase right now, so it's more of a closed loop game where they're sort of just like testing and iterating and fixing some issues before they go into the main launch and start having like the assets on chain and everything.
I really like the concept for this game.
Yeah, it's so
dope.
simple.
You kind of just stand over something, you upgrade buildings, you stand over more things, and then you kill a base.
Yep, and you can like upgrade your infantry units over time as you collect more rewards. Yeah, it's really just like it's a territory control. It's like an overwhelm the opponent kind of thing.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know, games are quick, 5-10 minutes.
All right. Now the next thing, we've got Axie Origins. So you don't like Classic? Or are you not a fan of Classic?
I like Classic. I just personally played Origins first. And
so you came later in the whole cycle.
Yeah, so I personally find myself more interested in the Origins art. I like the Origins art. I don't have the same nostalgia. Hey, he's got the same hoodie.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah, I see it.
I don't have the same nostalgia for classic art that I think a lot of players have. But I still love both games. I just tend to find myself playing Origins more because I really like how my Axies look in Origins.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
She just turns herself into Axies. That's dope.
Yeah, we have a couple cosplayers who every single week do new Axie cosplay. It's really cool. It's like
that is fucking dope. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the community is like unreal. We have a whole
still to this day.
If you click that hashtag on that selfie post, the Axie Monday selfie. You'll see every single Monday we have like a crazy influx of people who post their Axie Monday selfies. It's a really big thing. People do not miss a day. It's kind of amazing, honestly.
And is it just because they want to post, or is there like an engage incentive?
Nope. They just want to post. It's the community kind of originated this trend, and they've sort of just stuck by it. Like this is just how they celebrate each Monday. Celebrating
my favorite one for sure. Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. And so let's talk a little bit more about Axie Origins, because this might be a little known fact, but to a lot of people, they forgot about this game. And a lot has happened to this game. In fact, I was really, really, really shocked to learn that Axie Infinity's SLP has gone deflationary at some point. I don't know if it's still deflationary, but at some point it went deflationary. And to me, that was a huge shocker that they've managed to get this whole situation under control. There's still a lot of people playing this game. Do you know the metrics for Axie Infinity's Origins?
I don't know what the numbers are right now off the top of my head. I know a couple months ago we were seeing between 100 and 150,000 MAU on Origins. I don't know how it's gone up or gone down. We've made some sweeping changes across the board, so that always kind of throws numbers into the run a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we've consistently been seeing, I think Classic almost hit 100K DAU when we kind of brought back a lot of the updates and changes. And
is Classic bigger?
So they go back and forth, right? Like it depends on what's getting certain updates at certain times. They're, what has an on, like Origins has the, obviously like the seasons and seasonal rewards. So like player counts kind of ebb and flow based on like, are we in an active season? Are we in an off season? But yeah, I would say right now Classic is seeing a little bit more like a higher player count than Origins, which is really awesome to see, because we kind of we revamped and brought back some things over the last couple months. I've been introducing new currencies and new in-game rewards, game modes, etc., that have kind of like reinvigorated people's interest.
What kind of game modes?
So there's one called Cursed Coliseum, which is a new game mode. I am less familiar with all of it entirely. There's Collectible Coliseum, Cursed Coliseum. The Collectible Coliseum, I believe you just have to have a collectible Axie in your team, and you get an additional type of reward. So like Japan, Christmas, Origins, and Mystics, I think all have different rewards within that. Yeah, because we've been trying to introduce that, right? Like there's a bunch of different types of axes and creating like new
Yeah.
leaderboards that are kind of more specific to what they're doing. And yeah, we've also introduced like there's the golden wheel spin, which is a new classic, you know,
The golden
feature.
wheel. Are we burning axes?
Well, we've been actually. That's part of the update with Origins and part evolution. Axes are also deflationary.
Oh, is that how you evolve them? You combine multiple of the same, or
Sort
how
of.
does that work?
So we have what's called the Lunacian Express, which is essentially a way to like burn and release axes. So when you release an axie, yeah, there you go. When you release an axie, oh hey, we just cracked over 300,000 release axes.
300K, yeah.
That's super exciting. I'll have to tweet about that. Yeah, so when you release an axie, you receive parts specific to the type of axie you release. You release a bird axie, you get bird parts, beast axie, beast parts, etc.
Okay.
And then when you go to evolve an axie, you need to spend parts to evolve that axie. So it creates a deflationary metric because you need to, it takes a couple of axes worth of parts to evolve a single axie. So it's not a one-to-one translation. It can be 2 or 3, depending on the output of parts you get.
Just a bunch of random accessories. So like, let's say I go to collections and then axes and I just start grabbing all these axes and burning them into the fire. Would that be a terrible idea if I have like this rare axie and I'm looking for a specific part?
If you're looking for a specific part, so there's like, so the way part evolution works, right, is that you can select which part gets evolved. Axes have 6 parts. Those parts determine the cards that are in that axe's inventory and obviously what you play with in the arena.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see there, like the parts translate into cards. So you're looking for usually the right one. When you go to evolve an axie, though, it actually lets you pick specifically which part you're looking to upgrade each time. Every 10 levels, you can upgrade 1 part on an axie. So you can go the route of buying floor axes and releasing them, or you can actually purchase the parts directly off the secondary market from other players. So you go on the left there under the marketplace and go down to materials.
Got it.
So you can actually purchase those materials straight out. So they're called mementos. Or
Mementos, yeah.
So you could purchase. So for instance, like I was just upgrading my my team last night. I needed 200 materials per axie. It was about $6 per axie to buy the parts. If I had done this on secondary, I think I probably would have spent, I don't know, $8 to $10, and then potentially, you know, rolled the wrong parts. So this is a kind of a way to like, for people who have released a bunch of axes over time, you know, if you want to just kind of like spend through and do it this way, you can do it that.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I think the focal point here is that axes are being burned. The SLPs are actually being used. I think there are new things like charms and stuff like that too. So there's actually an economy here now, right? There's things to be excited about. There's a ton of shit all over the fucking place. I was looking into it. I was like, holy shit, they've done a lot. Welcome, classic crypto.
Right? Like Axie used to be just kind of, it was like, you know, you have your Axies and you have SLP.
Yeah. And then you just farm and then Ponzi it. But now there's something here. Like there's more to it, which is awesome.
We built an economy. And I think that's like a really important thing is like, you know, when we talk about like some of the models of games that are doing kind of play to earn, play to airdrop, like there's a lot of teams that are very like unsustainable in their approach.
Shut up. Every economy is sustainable until it isn't.
Every economy is sustainable until it isn't. But that's the problem, right? Is like, you know, if you weigh really heavy rewards without proper token sinks, like that can be problematic. And so I think like over time, the goal with Axie has always been to create an economy that's sustainable. And that means that like we can take emissions and, you know, staking rewards and you know, token sinks and properly recycle them and understand over time how we can create a sustainable economy, meaning that we don't output too much AXS because they're, you know, we'll always be able to kind of see where like sell pressure on certain tokens comes from, that kind of thing, balance things out so it's a little bit more productive. We recently introduced a way to do this where we took the Axie Origins Season 7 leaderboard, which is about $643,000 in rewards, and we split it between AXS and SLP, whereas it used to be just straight AXS. So we've allowed that to be like not necessarily like the idea is we want people to earn rewards and put them back in the ecosystem and not just like earn rewards and dump them on the market. Obviously, you know, people can do that and that's totally fine, but we do like to encourage people to find ways to like reuse their tokens in the ecosystem. So We've introduced SLP so that people have a new way to kind of acquire and earn SLP to be, spent on crafting and breeding and things like that.
Ton of stuff they can do. Yeah, that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. So it seems like there's a lot of focus still on Axie Infinity. It seems like, it
Yes.
hasn't been abandoned by any stretch of the imagination. It's still very much
No.
a thing. Are you trying, in SkyMavis at least, is SkyMavis trying to do this thing where, you know how there were game launchers and then they had the Steam and then they had Valve building out games as well? Is that
Yeah.
the idea, but on the chain side as a whole? Or is it like SkyMavis is trying to become an infrastructure provider and they just have Axie Infinity there?
No, not at all. Like Axie will always be our flagship game. Axie will always be the Ronin game. It's the first game. It's the #1 game. Like it's our game. And so like, no matter how things scale and grow, like even if, like think about it this way, even if Call of Duty gets more players than say Counter-Strike or Gary's Mod, like you never sit there, or Half-Life, you don't sit there and go, oh, well, that means they don't care about those games. Like,
Yeah.
well, no, of course they care about the games. Like, just because another game is more successful on the same platform doesn't mean that the other games aren't like the important ones. And when you think of Steam and Valve, you don't think Call of Duty, for instance, right? That's not what you think of. You think of the games they've made. And so there's definitely a goal to like make sure, Axie is the SkyMavis game. Axie is the Ronin game. We will have other games always, in the future, and we will always be bringing more games to Ronin and acting kind of like a Web3 publisher in that way, and a Web3, game launcher. But yeah, no, we're still very focused on Axie.
You give love to them. And I saw a new update recently came, and it was Axie Homeland. The little land plots were going crazy. Very interesting reaction from the community in regards to Axie's Homeland. I think they've done a couple iterations at this point to try to kind of figure out what to do with it. Yeah. What's your take on the current situation with Axie Homeland?
I think the easiest way to say is like I'm not personally well versed enough to really kind of speak on the intricacies of it. There was from my understanding, Jiho and Trung kind of have taken responsibility for it. Because the expectation of the community and what actually ended up coming out as a product didn't quite match up. Yeah. And there was some concerns over feedback and outputs and emissions and things like that. So I would direct people to in our Discord. You can read the statement from Jiho and Trung kind of explaining a little bit of like how things happened and where the future is. But like Homeland, has always kind of been a core important part, and the goal is making a land experience that people want to play. And I think a lot of teams have tried to make a land experience that people want to play, and it's difficult. It's difficult to make everyone feel like that land experience is right for them. Yeah. It's definitely still a goal, I think, for the team, and it's now become kind of a more heightened priority to like make Homeland
great
as
again.
Good as as good as what people wanted, and we have some other products that we're looking at integrations with. We have Project T, which is kind of a similar concept, but Project T. Project T is sort of an Animal Crossing MMORPG experience, and so it's trying to understand, now looking at it, like how can those be integrated? What could you do, etc.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, for me, when I saw the situation, I'm like, there's always take 7, right? Like, as long as you're trying to make it right, it's perfectly fine in my book. I've talked to a couple people that have a ton of land on Axie Homeland, and it's like, at this point, I think they've kind of figured out that, when you scale a company this aggressively, sometimes you have to take a step back and be like, have we lost the experimental touch that made us very exciting in the past? And I was like, okay, yeah. Like I heard Jiho on Twitter Spaces talking about that. That's kind of it, right? When you scale a company this large, it's hard to take as many risks. Like, there's a reason you're here, Finn. You can't just shitpost all day anymore.
No, I mean, it's right. Like, it's such a hard thing that I think in Web3, we idolize this era of there are no rules. Let's do what we want. And it was awesome, right? Like I have nostalgia for the days of like, there was no concern over anything. We were all exploring and experiencing something new for the first time. But as you find success, as you scale and grow, like every company goes through kind of the growing pains of like, okay, suddenly we have to bring on, all of these people to do all these things, and then suddenly it's like, okay, now the company is not 5 people in living in a 1-bedroom apartment together building Axie. Like, it's now a flourishing company with a headquarters and with teams that are devoted to each product. And I mean, like, you externally kind of maybe don't realize how things shift and how things feel different. And so, I think for Jiho and Trung, it's like a real focus, like how can they bring back a lot of that feeling of kind of the early days of Axie and make people, understand that, like, they are still the same people they were back then. It's just they've learned more now.
They've learned the way.
Mm-hmm.
They've gone away from the degen sphere just a little bit. They're still degens at heart. Let's be honest.
We're all
100%.
still degens. Yeah, we're all still degens.
All right, and talking about degens, narratives. So, what is your favorite narrative in Web3 gaming right now? Like, what do you think is going to be the pop-off here? Do you think it's going to be the copies? Do you think it's going to be the people launching tokens and giving people a bunch of airdrop stuff? Is it going to be the random AI games that come out that are built by AIs? What's going to be the exciting thing this year?
I think AI is going to have a moment. I don't know if I agree with AI having a moment, but I think it's going to have a moment.
You don't agree with it, but screw it. Let's do it. We don't have a choice.
AI has been in video games since their induction. AI is not new. When you go and play Call of Duty and you go into the campaign, you're playing AIs. That's what they are. It's an AI that determines how that player moves around. So, this narrative of like, oh, AI is this new exciting thing. I'm like, it's not. And like, let's not get fooled by it. I'm excited for a couple of teams to kind of ship releases on their games. I'm excited for that. I think that's the narrative I'm excited for, is playable games.
People actually making games like you could play. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's my narrative this year is playable games. I'm no longer investing my time and energy or resources in unproven teams in the same way. Like, I am very much so personally, and this is totally like a personal thing, but like, I'm personally looking at like, do you have a beta I can test? Do you have gameplay footage I can look at? Is there someone who's gotten early access who did a review that I trust? And if you don't tick any of those boxes, I am very happy to miss out on maybe like a 2 or 5x or whatever it might be, to wait until I'm sure that I'm putting my money into a real product.
That makes too much sense, Finn.
Too much.
Honestly,
I know.
I just want to get my meme coins that are just glorified crypto games. It just, come on. I have to do that. And that's been a problem for the longest time in crypto gaming. People used to ship out these trailers with nothing in them. Nowadays, I feel like investors have grown up just a little bit. Now they're playing the games and experiencing the products and actually seeing that, well, for one, a lot of these are just asset flips, but some of them are actually building something, which is exciting. So, I don't know whether or not we're going to hit, 1 million DAU on a single crypto game this year. No. Maybe with the bots, maybe it'll happen. So. No, not. I mean, Pixels apparently is at like 180K, right? Or something crazy.
Pixels has been at 180K. They've been bouncing around 160 to 180K for quite some time. I think 1 million's a big number.
It's a big number.
Axie at its all-time peak was 2.8 million. That's, peak original bull market. I don't know when the next game to hit that number is going to be. Like, that's a significant number even by Web 2 standards. I hope we see it this year, but I'm also very comfortable with maybe this time around having a little bit more stable growth up to that level.
Fair. All right. So, okay, let's change things a little bit again. So what project other than Ronin are you really excited about? Because you're talking about shipping games. There's a lot of games that are shipping stuff. Probably more than I can count on 2 hands. Well, definitely more than that. What games are you excited for this year?
God, my bags are all over the place. Shrapnel. Excited for Shrapnel.
Did you play on the playtest last Friday?
No, it was a friend of mine. It was his birthday, so I was out with him.
Fair.
When the playtest started. But I will be playing on the 8th. 2 days, I think. We have the 8th to the 10th. There's the creator tournament, so I'm going to play in that and try and win some money. Wild card, of course. I'm eternally always bullish on Paul and Katie. I don't think I will ever not be bullish on them.
Is this true?
Play Cypher. I had some really good time in their beta. I think they just invited me to their newest test round, and
I keep getting random testnet downloads on my phone.
Yeah, and I'll probably jump in. I actually did really enjoy it. What other games have I kind of been interested in? I'm a holder of Overworld. I'm excited for.
Is there any gameplay for that?
I have seen it. I don't think
you've seen it. Okay,
yes.
Got it. Is it up to your standards? Well, you're holding it, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I like the concept I was shown. I was shown a while back. I mean, this is completely unconnected to my work with Ronin SkyMavis.
Of course,
is not a pitch or something or some kind of like.
This is the Finn world now.
This was like Finn was approached to do a seed round with Overworld. So way back, I saw some kind of gameplay footage. I don't know how it has held up to now, but what I saw then was enough for me to be super interested and bullish in the project. I know they just put out this kind of like teaser release for kind of some of the universe and the world elements. So yeah, super cool there. Another one I'm interested in, Tatsumiku.
I can't spell that.
I think it's M-E-E. I think it's Tatsu M-E-E-K-O.
Got it. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I've heard from a lot of people that this one's got some exciting stuff. It's very small still too.
No, they're like
Tatsugachi.
They have like a few 100,000 monthly active players.
I guess in Web3 they're small. Maybe? I don't even know what's going on. Why are there so many people playing this game? Tell me. What's going on?
It's played in Discord.
Oh, it's on Discord. Okay, that makes sense.
You can play the game.
So this is on Discord?
I don't think this version. So if you close out here and scroll up a little bit. Scroll up.
This?
Yeah. So you can see like there's
Spooky
aspects.
It's like a Tamagotchi.
Yes. So there's aspects you can play. So that's partly where their player base comes from. It's not all like the actual game itself, but yeah, super interesting. I've got my eyes on them, kind of just like interested to see what they do. I'm trying to think what else. I think those are my main
too many
focus
games
right now.
Too
I mean,
many
yeah, like
games.
Cap and Company is cool. Nifty Island, of course. I fucking love Nifty Island. I play that all the time.
Yeah. Are we gonna 1v1 or?
You do not want the smoke.
Oh yeah? You sure?
I promise you. I promise you. Yeah, I've been grinding their airdrop. I think I have like 1,100 airdrop points or something crazy. Like,
how does their airdrop work? You just play the game and get island tokens?
So you don't get tokens directly. You get points, which will convert to tokens. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fun game. I have 1,173 points. No idea where I.
How do you check that?
On your on the website in the profile, you can go look at your points. But yeah, I mean, like,
is it blooms?
No, your blooms.
Oh my god, it's launching. This is bad.
Now you gotta complete your daily quests. But yeah, so yeah, super bullish on that. Super excited.
I gotta cook it.
You gotta cooking. So if you click airdrop,
airdrop, let's go.
Well, you didn't connect any wallets, so.
Oh, let's go.
You are not.
Didn't connect anything. Let's fucking go.
You are not eligible.
You know what? I'm here for the gameplay. Yeah,
it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, I think those are my short list of games right now. I'm sure there's ones I'm forgetting and someone will yell at me, but
yeah, everybody's gonna be doing threads on you now, exposing you for the fiend you are. How dare you not mention every game on SkyMavis and Axie Infinity? How dare you?
I mean, of course, I'm always excited for the next Ronin game. I think that's
shame. Nothing, but no, I'm kidding. But yeah, so I guess the last thing, let's go to like communities now, because I know you're apparently a night janitor at Pudgy Gaming. Is that what I read? What does that mean?
Yes. So I'm an unofficial part of Pudgy Gaming in the sense of like, they obviously operate as an entity.
Very professional org.
And I'm just sort of, I was with the guys when it all started. And so, I'm sort of like a passive part of the group. I help out with stuff here and there, but, they're the boys. And so, I am the the night janitor at Pudgy Gaming.
Okay.
But yeah,
You just like shit post with Pudgy Gaming, or are you on this Heroes of Mavi alliance?
I think I'm in there. I stopped playing the game.
Wow. So you're just because they're playing it, or just because you don't like the game?
I missed apparently I wasn't eligible for the airdrop. So.
Oh, you got wrecked. Your 12 tokens, man.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, the game loop itself didn't quite hook me enough beyond.
Fair. That's fair.
I hate to say this, and this isn't a slight to them, but like I already play Clash of Clans. So for me to play a second Clash of Clans type of game without an incentive is a little bit tricky. And
yeah,
so
that makes sense.
I don't like personally have the time for that. I already play like 3 or 4 in their mobile games, and I just couldn't really justify fitting another one in.
You know what it is? We're too old. That's what it is. We're all boomers at this point. When I was younger, I swear to you, I'd play Summoner's War and I'd have 7 clones installed on my phone.
Yeah.
Epic 7, Epic 5,
exactly.
everything.
I used to be able to like bounce in game to game to game, and then now it's like, I'm like, damn, I need to like block out a window of time. I need to like plan my day. Like, this is so dumb.
I'm sure like the younger generation will appreciate these clones, because to be honest, I loved clones because you start in the same exact point as everyone else. You'd have the opportunity to start Clash of Clans 15 years ago when there was nothing there. Now, of course, you also get the bare bones approach of what Clash of Clans was 15 years ago. But it's an interesting experience. We'll see what they do with the Web3 stuff. I'm playing it right now. A little bit too much, probably. I should stop, but we'll see what ends up happening. I think everybody has their own preferences for this kind of stuff. Like,
yeah,
I don't play Clash of Clans, you know?
Exactly. I've been playing Clash of Clans since I was, I don't know, like 12 years old, 13 years old. So like I've been playing Clash of Clans now for
too long.
That's actually kind of scary. Like 10 plus years.
Fucking years.
10, well, no, 13 years. Almost 13 years I've been playing Clash of Clans. That's a terrifying amount of time to be playing a mobile game. But like that's to put into perspective why, like, Jesus Christ, now I'm feeling old.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel old too. Can you stop?
Fuck me. That's why, like, to me, it's hard to get me off that game. I've been playing it for so long that if
you're
give
loyal
me a competitor, it's like, it's the whole idea of like the Web3 version of X. It's like, well, if I've been playing this game for 10 years, you really got to get me off of it. How are you?
And maybe that's what Web3 is about, right? Just doing very similar concepts to other things and just giving people incentives so they quit the other game until that game capitulates and joins us in our world of airdrops, apparently.
Exactly.
Exactly, that's the plan. I mean, at least for now, that's probably going to be the beginning. A lot of these games are going to clone very similar concepts, and then eventually they're going to be more unique concepts, and there's more funding available.
I would say though, if we look at some of the more like interesting prospects, Shrapnel, right? Like Shrapnel, I wouldn't even call a clone of anything. Like if we think about what Shrapnel is, like there's a lot of extraction shooters.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call Shrapnel a clone of Tarkov, for instance, right?
I mean, you have special abilities, I guess, that little ray of green that you throw.
And it's much more PvP focused. It's much more fast paced. It's much more Call of Duty meets Tarkov meets, I would say, like Titanfall almost in terms of the way you move around and all that kind of stuff. So like, I think there's a lot to me that gets exciting around unique approaches versus copycat approaches.
Well, the game's still early though, like very early on.
Super early. I mean, I still have to play it. Like I'm gonna form more opinions.
I don't know how to think about it. Like I love the Shrapnel team, but like I played it and I'm like, this game's at least a year out, right? There's no way they're that close.
No, and it's always hard to know like how old is the build that we're playing kind of
That's
thing,
true.
right?
That's
like,
true. Yeah.
You know, last we knew this build, originally we were going to get it in December, and then it seemed like they pushed back by a month or so. So this could be a few month old build. But yeah, I mean, it's this thing that like all game studios are going to struggle with. Like when you start showing a game off this early, normally nobody sees the game at this stage externally, and that this is like a fully internal, no one else gets to see it kind of situation. So,
but at least we get to play it, right? We get to do the little copium while we're holding the token too. It's the best thing ever.
Exactly.
It's the best thing ever. All right. I guess the last thing before we leave, we'll run back to the beginning here. Let's talk about Solana. What's your formulated opinion on the network halt here for Solana? Do you think Solana's doomed? Is it going straight to zero? Or, is Ronin going to become the #5 crypto on the planet because of this? $40 billion? Or is this just like a sell the news thing and then people are buying it back up now and nobody really cares?
So look, Ronin and Solana compete in terms of market share in the idea of chains for building the future of Web3.
Mm-hmm.
In our eyes, the future of Web3 is very much so game-oriented, game-related. It's very much so that the most likely use case of the technology is gaming. It makes the most sense for all of us, and I think we've seen the market start to understand, appreciate, and shift the narrative a little bit, that like NFTs on their own maybe make less sense than when they're integrated with a gaming product. Or at least a gaming product is an easy integration. Solana, you know, my PFP is a Solana NFT. I've been trading on Solana since mid-2022.
Is this your PFP?
Yes, that is one of my PFPs, Bodario.
Yeah.
I love it. You know, I've been on the chain for a long time. I have love for what they do. I also am able to then recognize the shortfalls. The chain went down like that. That's a shortfall.
That's terrifying.
That's terrifying. And that's not a new thing. For those who've been around in previous cycles, like Solana used to go down on a regular basis. It was almost like there was a light switch you could flick off. And, you know, I think for big scale success, you can't have a light switch. And, you know, you can't have people just lose access to their funds like that. And
no, that's crazy. And then having to take a snapshot and pray that you're taking the right one. No.
Yes.
Like, no.
Yes.
So,
and that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. And so, you know, I'm bullish on Solana as a chain for meme coins and a chain for art. When it comes to like product, I'm less bullish on Solana as a chain for product. And I think that's why I've seen less and less product being built there over the last year, and less teams kind of putting their focus into building on Solana and looking more at ETH L2s, EVM chains, and some of the other L1s that are coming out, like Sui or Blast or Base, etc.
Base take. Yeah, the ETH maxis are celebrating right now. I don't know how long they're going to be able to celebrate, but I would say I would agree in the sense that I don't know if building a crypto game in Solana makes sense. You know, there are a lot of really good projects on Solana for crypto gaming, but it's like, dude, if your network is going down, holy shit. Gamers are the ones that get pissed off, okay? Degens, they kind of understand, but gamers, I mean, they got no patience for this.
No, and it's like, it's one thing if like the game servers go down, like whatever, we've all dealt with game servers going down. But if game servers and your bank account go down at the same time and they're connected because they're attached to the same network, can't have that. Like that's
capitulation.
That's capitulation. That's something that we would have to start worrying about. Like, oh, can't have that happen. So that's where my concern for Solana comes into play, and where I think Ronin solves a lot of the issue is like, you know, we're handling more we're you know, in line with or sometimes flipping the transactional volume on ETH mainnet, and we're beating Solana in daily active wallets. You can see all this on if you look at Token Terminal. Token Terminal is probably the best place to look for some of the data, but
I don't think I have it pulled up. Yeah. We'll skip it for this time. It's all good.
That's okay. If you literally just go, I'm gonna send you.
I'm trying.
No, I got it. You're gonna send.
Wait, I think I'm cooking. Is it this? Oh no. Key metrics. What's this? Active users 612,000. Holy shit. I believe. Business model? You can look at the Ron business model? Oh, on how the network works. Okay, that makes sense.
So the link I just sent you in your DM is going to let you see how things stack up. I'm
cooking. All right, we're here. Let's do it. Top 25 projects based on active users. Oh, Ron's number 3 right now. And then we've got the bot nation over here with BNB and Tron. Let's go. Oh, and I'm sure there's bots on Ron too, but...
Yeah, but I don't know what Tron... To this day, I don't think anyone knows.
I think they're Chinese bots or something like that, is what people are saying. I don't understand it, but that's apparently the narrative.
But yeah, if you look at numbers, I mean, we're ahead of what? Polygon, Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, Arbitrum, Base, Starknet, Avalanche.
Yeah,
Everything.
by a lot too. It's not even
By
close.
a lot.
Yeah, apparently people use Bitcoin. That's crazy. 443,000 people. I thought they
right?
just held the token and they just sold it eventually. Like,
It's
people actually use
ordinals.
this?
It's like
Ordinals?
ordinal volume, I think, accounts for a
Wow.
lot of it. I don't know how, like, because yeah, I think there's some ways that inflate that number. Like, I don't think there's actually that many. I don't think there's actually 400,000 people transacting on Bitcoin, but this is just active wallets, active users. So I think the metric for them is if they're just interacting with protocols, making transactions on a small level. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
aren't like on-chain PFPs a thing too? Because there were ordinals and Ethereum had on-chain PFPs, like the little mouse anonymized
Yes.
or something like that. And then it faded. Nobody used them anymore. Has that ever happened on Ronin? Has anybody released a PFP collection at all for that? I think it's just Genkai, right? It's just that
Correct.
marketplace.
Genkai is the only PFP on Ronin currently.
Yeah, you could look at it right here, somewhere here. There it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So CyberConn's Genkai, yeah, close to 900,000 RON traded. So that's like
A lot.
2.7 million.
Is that the most?
On the Mavis market, yes. Because the Mavis market is different than the Axie market. Axie is 4.2 billion traded volume.
Yeah. I remember like 99% of that happened during like a 10-day time span. I swear to God.
It's crazy. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, that was fucking crazy. Okay.
Yeah,
that makes
when
sense.
Axie became number one, it took the world by storm a little bit.
I remember. Yeah, I was a part of that. It was fucking crazy. I'd make one random shit post video and it'd get 70,000 views. It was great.
Yeah.
These little guys, they're cute. So is all this volume recent or is this just from like in the past?
This is all time, so that's total volume of
Okay.
since they migrated, or at least
All
the
right.
mint took place. So
Yeah, when are we
we're
getting
also-
CyberKongs over here?
which ones?
The actual ones. The big boys.
There's no current plans for those to migrate. I
Okay.
believe we recently put out CyberKongs did announce the existing plans, which is let me pull it up so I don't misquote their exact plans, because people will jump on me being like, "Oh, it's alpha, it's alpha."
I'm gonna put
if
you
I
right
say
here.
the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Where are they? We just talked about this the other day. Wow, I forgot how much I post. Do I post too much?
Dude, how many posts do you do a day? Like 20 or 30?
5 to 10.
Oh, you don't do that many.
Yeah. Cool. So what we're gonna be doing is the Genkai and VX will be able to be bridged to Ronin.
Genkai and VX. Oh, the ones on the sandbox, right?
Yep. So the those will be the two collections
voxels.
that are
Yeah.
migrating. And then they're also migrating their game, play and collect, to Ronin. And Banana, which is their utility token, will also be migrating.
We like banana. Do you have banana?
I don't personally hold any Banana, no.
I don't know anything about bananas.
I personally try to avoid having because I'm in the position where like
Yeah. I did the same exact thing with Gala, where like I covered too much Gala, so I didn't own any Gala. Like I just had like $10 that I got from an airdrop or something that I played in the game.
I mean, I own AXS, I own SLP, and I own Ron. That's not a financial advice, but it's just sort of like I own the internal ecosystem tokens, and then I tend to just be, when you work for a chain, it's a little bit hard to hold bags and things because, obviously like I have information other people don't. So I tend to not trade in those same ways. But that lets me I'll speculate on other projects.
Fair.
I can.
Fair. That's the shrapnels. We'll stick to that. We'll stick to that.
I hold Shrap token. I hold Cypher token. I'll hold Nifty Islands.
A good 300
island token.
tokens that are going to come out in the next 20 days, probably.
I have, I'm a pre-seed in Mon for Pixelmon. I've got
Let's go.
I'll have that. Yeah.
Are you going to get your Moner on now?
My Moner, yeah.
Oh, isn't I saw this announcement. I think it was from Immutable X. They said Happy Mon Day. Are they doing something with them, or?
I have no idea. I
Yeah.
kind of assumed maybe. I wouldn't be super surprised. IMX has been throwing around big checks recently, which you know, we love the Polygon route.
Let's go.
Throw around big checks and then figure it out later. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the plan is there. If they acquire Pixelmon, sick. I would like to see their chain
Happy Monday.
launch. That would be cool if their chain existed.
Oh my god, do they not have a chain? Don't you? Oh, is it just a wallet connect or something? You
I mean,
deposit
as-
into somewhere and then you withdraw it?
Their marketplace is a little bit like they're not very clear what's.
You gotta give them credit though. You know they got a lot of games on there. There's a lot of
They
hype.
do.
We just gotta see the execution, my friend.
That's
execution.
I think what right. I mean that's what everyone's waiting.
But they
for,
have a
execution.
lot of hype. A lot of hype. A lot of
They
games.
do. There's my concern with them are you know they have a lot of hype, which is you know means that there's a lot of expectation, and if they fail to deliver an expectation, then that can be bad. So I hope they deliver on the hype that they've generated.
Fair.
But you know, in the same realm, like when they have 600,000 DAU, we can talk.
Oh, okay. Shots fired. Shots fired. I know some of the IMX people listen to the stream, so all I gotta say is you didn't hear from me. You didn't hear from me.
No, I have friends in IMX. My poking is
We're talking
fun.
shit. Yeah.
I'm
All
talking
good.
shit to my friends. It's the same way I talk shit to Coop from Avalanche.
Are you talking smack about Avalanche? No, Sean.
Me and Coop love
Avex is pretty awesome. Avex is good.
I love their team.
Don't FUD Avex.
I love everyone over there. No.
There was this post.
FUD
I
Coop.
think it was
FUD Coop because Coop is a friend.
You FUD Coop? Okay, I FUD Coop too.
Yeah. I FUD Coop and I FUD Dub because Dub works for Shrapnel and Shrapnel's on Avex.
You just like fudding things in general, I think.
Yeah, you can see.
Por favor. Please stop.
I love how long the sentence gets when you translate it.
It's that I was trying to type it up, you know, because I know Spanish, and it just took me forever. I was like, fuck this.
But yeah, I'm just excited for this year. I just want games to launch. That's my big thing. Launch your games, please. God damn it. I wanna play
Please
your
launch
games.
your games. Stop it.
Let me stop.
Stop putting your damn bags, dude. Oh no, I don't want to read that. All right, fair enough, Finn. All right, we're coming up with the clock. It was a pleasure to have you. We got some alpha, quote unquote, on the Ronin ecosystem. At least we learned
Should
that
I leave it
they
with
still
alpha?
function. Just maybe like sprinkle it in randomly here, so everybody's gonna click off, and then there's gonna be like 20 people that actually see it. We'll do that.
Fucking February. Jesus Christ, get ready.
February, Jesus Christ, get ready.
That's all I'll say. Like that's it. Just if
So
you
is it a
were
good thing that
excited-
I'm covering Ronin and that I've
Yeah,
gone
you're
chain
gonna have,
agnostic?
you're gonna,
Okay,
you
I'm
are
gonna have
going to-
content.
You are gonna have so much content this month.
So much content. What are you trying to say? Is it in regards to the network as a
I'm not giving you more of
whole,
that.
or just?
It's a Ronin. Ronin specifically, you will have a lot of coverage this month.
All right. I think we'll leave it with that. Thanks for joining the channel, Finn. Everybody is gonna click off right before that happens, so I think for me that's perfect. We'll leave it in the cabal, and we'll just go from there. All right, boys.
Love it.
We'll see you later. Stay classy. And that's all.
Stay classy.
Stay classy, friends. Even though